Guys, I was asked by one of the guys on the Destructive Entry firefighter groups on Facebook to do a little demo of how Best and Arrow interchangeable cores work. So I'm going to use this cutaway that I recently got. You can see all the pin stacks in there. Probably won't focus very well, but this is the side of the core. This is the locking lug. So this is a master key. This obviously just turns the plug. This is the control key, and what this is a separate shear line, and you can see now it moves that lug in, and that's how you remove the core. So this is the housing that you guys see on the outside of the door, like this. Would be like that. The screw goes right in there. You can see that. So when you're installing this, you turn this in the lock. Put this in the lock. Actually, have a tool here. This is what we made this at work, but this is what you would use to spin the lock into the lock body. Spin the housing into the lock body. Then you would tighten the set screw down so it can't be wrenched out, and then you put the core in. So using the control key. Now it's a little, just have to align the tailpiece there. Turn the key. And that's the working lock. Now obviously when you guys are trying to get in, you just want the lock out. When I get locks like these, I'm trying to pick the core out so I can rekey it. And with a normal lock, you just have one shear line. With a master key lock, you'd have two shear lines or more, and with the Best, you would have also have two shear lines, one operating and one control. Now in a master key, because it's the same shear, it's the same thing. It's much easier, but because the control, it's harder to pick to that control because you don't know what you're picking at each time. If you're picking a master key lock, you have more chances to get it open. But if you're picking a lock like this, it's definitely harder. And there's different tools, different techniques. You can drill them pretty much above here and above here, and you'll either ruin part of the core or you'll ruin the housing. So it depends. If somebody like me that's collecting a lock, I don't want to ruin either, if possible. Although if it's a padlock or something, it's much easier to destroy a core and then put a new core in than drill out the side of the padlock or anything like that. But these are fairly standard, stores, institutional. My college campus has a huge system with these kind of locks, because when somebody loses their keys, take the core out, put a new core in. A lot of the chain stores, the same way. They have a manager quit or an employee quit. They're also using restricted keyways. This is not a restricted. This is a very common one. But in these stores, they'll give them a core. They'll give them a couple keys that they're designed so they can be rekeyed. In the field, it takes a little disc out. It's like a step key, I guess you'd call it. It's called InstaKey. Similar, same concept, looks exactly the same. The keyways are much more difficult to work with if you're trying to pick it. But again, same thing, and then I believe they just rekey them at the factory when they've been used up. So I hope this helps. Again, this is how the interchangeable core locks work. In a standard mortise housing that you would see in a storefront door, Adams Rite, or a interior mortise lock, an office or a classroom. Again, it's just this lug right here that fits into a milling inside, and it's not going anywhere without that control key. There you go. Thanks a lot, guys.